Hello everyone, welcome back to the Essential SQL series. Today we are going to learn about views. What are views? A view is a result of a stored query. Let's say you want to write a select statement and you don't want it to be a temp table or a CT and want it to be reusable for multiple users across the sessions. You can create a view. What will happen is like temp table is stored temporarily in the memory of the database for the session. CT is stored toward the session of the SQL statement only. A view can be stored permanently. It is the way to pack a query into a named object. So the way we create a temp table or CT with a as a name object, you can similarly create a view, store it on the database, and multiple users can run it as a simple select statement and don't need to write complex SQL queries. So the biggest benefit here is, let's say you have customers or consumers who need data from complex SQL statements and don't know how to write it. At the same time, you just want them to have a very simple access to run a simple select statement on your database. That way your SQL statement code is also protected and nobody ends up writing complex or unoptimized queries. Next is we can add and remove columns in the view without touching the schema of the underlying table. So instead of calling the entire tables, you can simply call limited columns from the table and store it in the view. We can also use views to encapsulate complex queries with joins to simplify the data access. So you can not only run this on one table, you can run this on multiple tables, and this actually simplifies data accesses. One thing to note is whenever you execute a view, the underlying SQL statement is actually run. The results of a view are not stored like a table in the database memory. So it is basically just storing an SQL statement in the memory of a database rather than on your computer. So let's take a look at the syntax of the view. Create view name as select column names from table name. Now let's take a look at views in practice. So here you can see the syntax is very similar to temp tables. However, we use the keyword as view, not temp table. And when I create this, when I run, what happens is the query is finished very quickly, and you can see there is a view created which is stored in the database, unlike temp table which we were not able to see. Next, I want to just run this view without making any changes. You can write your own select statements over the view. Here let's say I want to run just to see entire output. I just run it. So this one was also executed quite quickly, and nobody needs to know what's the statement underlying which is being executed. Now let's say I want to make changes to a view and re-implement a new view for the same name. I can simply drop the view as drop view name, and it's done. It is not deleted at the end of the session. And one more thing is, to create or save a view, you need to have write access to the database. However, to execute a view, you need not necessarily have a write access to the database. So that's another way to save, read, write accesses to the database. Keep practicing. That's it for the video. Thank you.